Can you hear me now? Alright, I'm over here talking away and nobody can hear a thing I'm saying, huh? Can you hear me now, Galbatrax? Are you meant to be talking to? Okay. Can you hear me now? Hear me now? I'm over here talking away. I don't know why my recording program was not recording audio, but I just fixed it. Okay, welcome Galbatrax Salute. Welcome host-ups. Welcome. So, this is another episode of Pimp My Ship, number 3. Sorry for those that didn't have audio in the beginning, but I have audio now. Thank you. So the first thing I want to look at here and what I changed is I just changed the attack defaults. And then now I'm going to work on the cannon factories over here. So these cannon factories definitely need to... Oh, hope I'm streaming to the right thing. Because I was streaming to Twitch before, so it's probably whatever I messed with before. Anyways, it looks like I'm streaming to YouTube, so it should be fine. Okay, so one of the things that I noticed before when we changed this to constant fire, the Sulfur wasn't going in, but I'm thinking that Ghost, this is Ghost ship by the way, thinking he may have fixed that. But what I do want to fix is this and this, and I also want to fix this right here. You notice that this particular engine room doesn't have anybody assigned, and this is just priorities and who's assigned to them, and then one of them is always less than the other. And then one of the things I was thinking here too, and I was just thinking about last night, is adding, I don't think you have to add more railguns, but it was like, what if we added 2 more small railguns and 2 more small railguns over here? But then that would change the whole design right there on the front. That's what I was thinking, but we've got to fix this power issue right here. It's constantly in distress. I don't know why people walk away from this engine room, but they do. And then it looks like Ghost already fixed this Sulfur issue, which is what I saw before on probably a different version that he sent. He probably already fixed it and changed it. There wasn't no Sulfur going to this when this was constantly firing, based on this tiny little changement. But what we want to do here is we want to reverse this. It just adds a little bit more. It doesn't make that big of a difference on the overall of the ship because it's so big. It only has 2 railguns on it. But just flipping these around, once we figure out who's assigned to it, there really is only 1 people assigned to it. Maybe 2. Okay, 2 people assigned to it. I wish you could take away all the other arrows. Okay, maybe all these are assigned. 1, 2, 3, 4. Any back arrows coming back to it? Okay, all 4 of those are assigned, and then what he has here is that's assigned to energy, that's assigned to energy, and that's assigned to that one. And for whatever reason, people still keep walking away from this engine room, which is these pink kinds right here. Everything. Say they just walked away from the engine room again. I don't know why. Everything. Because it's an 8 for operate. All you gotta do is change it to a 9, and they'll stop walking away. And then this has got to flip. So we're gonna come over here, we're gonna pick this piece up, we're gonna flip it vertically, and we're gonna place it right back. Whoops. Pick it up, flip it vertically, put it back down. So now the Sulfur's on the right side, and so now that's what we are going to do. Is he had these dedications, which is this one, this one, this one, this one, which was to this, and then he had this like that. And all we did was we flipped it. So the power should come to that like this. We fixed that little engine room thingy that had it was right there. Oh, another thing that I noticed too is this. Watch, this person wants energy here, and then he walks right back here. So they're never using this walkway or these doors for any reason. See how this guy's walking, power, and he walks right back. For whatever reason, because it's closer for the AI, this other walkway is not ever being utilized. So if you just change that to that way, it's actually faster for them to go forward and back, and then we can just get rid of this extra door. Tiny little things. So all we did was change one priority, flip the factories. I know we changed this to fire at will, but that's just because we're testing to see how fast it can fire without running out of power. We can see that this power right here is doing its own thing. Let's come over here. Let's save this. Save this as 1.2. And then I really want to go with my idea of adding in more railguns. Ghost might think, I don't know, he might think, oh, what are you doing? But I don't know. That's just me. I'm thinking most ships, if you wanted to be, and they don't have to be these long railguns, right? You can just make these tiny little railguns and just expand this out a little bit this way, a little bit this way, and add 2 little railguns here and 2 little railguns here. And then you get 6 railguns, and then you can really rail fan with this thing, because it's already got speed and everything else. We're going to have to probably add a little bit more crew. What was the crew count on this thing? It's too big. Expand this out. 112 crew. That's still not bad for 1.2 million. 112 crew, that's not bad. We can add a little bit more crew. I really like how he has these layers stacked in the front like this with these point defenses, which when you face these 2 ships against each other, with just 2 railguns, it's not ever going to get past that. Hold on, I got some other things going on here. Okay, no big deal. Alright, now this energy consumption, it keeps going red, but that's not a big deal. This should work a little bit, and obviously you got to fix another door because I moved it, so this has got to have at least one more of these doors right there. In, out. I guess this one doesn't need a door here. Maybe it's good to have a door there? I don't know. I think that's better. This is interesting with these extra doors. It's all cost at that point. You get people still walking away from the engine rooms for whatever reason. So I'm just gonna change this one to a 10. Then they should not walk away from these engine rooms ever. They're walking that way. We can technically remove that. And remove that because they walk, they go there, and they walk right back. Yeah, I think this is just extra cost. So what I would do here is just... And I got some blank space. Save you on some cost there. I'm liking how the railguns are constantly firing. But me personally, if I'm thinking of a rail plan, we can either toss these engine rooms out or move this out a tiny bit more and then put that in there, because I like the defense on this. I like these point defenses. Let me hit on these point defenses. So we're going to save the tiny changes that we did. Change 1.3. This has to be the worst ship you've ever seen. Well, definitely needs work. I'm not gonna say it's the worst ship I've ever seen, but it's got an interesting, weird design. I would definitely put more. I'll put no guns. That's what I would do. I just feel like it needs more. I mean, it's a 1.2 million ship. At this point, when it costs 1.2 million, you're gonna be facing other ships with missiles and other things. Here, let's just test it against something else. Can it go fast enough? I'm thinking it can. It's got this extra thrust in it. I don't know. I've never tested against these other ones. How fast does it go backward? 87? Is that as far as it goes? 90? Okay, if these kick off. My ship's not going. I'm having engine problems in the back. Engine problems in the back. I'm just gonna fix this ship too. It still handled the missile barrage and everything else. He's got layer stacking of shields, so interesting defense in the front, interesting defense on the, and then he has enough speed to move forward. This is that sulfur issue I was talking about. When in combat, why is the sulfur not being provided? Who are his sulfur runners? Is it his everything? When the ship is in constant fire and duress, like you see right here, it's not supplying sulfur anymore. This is the issue I was talking about. For whatever reason, when it's constantly firing and fighting, whatever it's fighting, nobody's supplying sulfur. So I've got to figure out who are his guys that are supposed to supply sulfur and why are they not doing their job. So he's got gun loaders, he's got gunners. He's got laser gunning, he's got everything. I'm assuming it's probably these everything guys. Yeah, I just saw the one everything guy put sulfur there. Which means that this everything team supplies sulfur to factory, cannon factory, supply battery, supply sulfur. Change that up one. Because if you don't have sulfur, then you're not firing. If you're going to constantly fire. He still lost the front head. But I really wish you would actually put more rail guns on this. That's just my own personal opinion, but I could be wrong. I didn't save it, did I? Let's go find it. So for those that have done what I just did, if you come over to lost ships, in your lost ships, it will have saved. It will have saved it. So this is the one that I'd made those tiny changes to. Because if I come over here and I look at these role priorities now, because I didn't save it in the everything role under job priorities over here, that's that 7. I still want to change this as a 1.3. So anytime you've lost, or you forgot to save it, and you edit out just before, you always come over to your lost ships. It's going to save the last couple, however many are in there, and then it's just going to keep working from there. So we're not in April. I keep thinking we're in the past. May, number 3, we're going to come over here to 1.3. Okay, 1.4. I don't even know what I did to 1.3. But we'll just go to 1.4. Maybe I already saved it. It's Friday. Alright, so. That's interesting. I never knew it started off with no ammo in it. Also says, what about adding some large shields between point defenses? Right here? That's an interesting idea. Let's send in something. Here, let's go take a look at it. That's what I... Okay, something like that. Let's take a look at it. He's saying change this and adding in the large shield right between. So this whole thing has to change. He's got power, and this can move out. Why don't you just send me the changes you made, Josep? And I can just paste it in. Otherwise, we'll do it like this. He's saying put this in here and then spacing out those other ones to be, and then he's got to change the whole reactor. You change that to a medium reactor instead of a small. So you made significant changes to it. So what Josep is saying to do, and I like the idea. Let's just rip it all apart. He's just coming over here. He changed this to, and then you move all the people down. It'd be nicer if you just send me the. Everything's got to move out. It's got to be. Take that one off. I'm gonna cut this off. We're gonna move this out one. This one right here is gonna move out one like that. And then we have a reactor. We'll put a medium reactor right there. Some armor over here. We're gonna fix some of those other things. You can put this down back right there. And this is gonna be a walkway. This is gonna be in the corners. Might need a large one there. Maybe. Okay, that fixes that, and then he's got this large shields that they do overlap in a nice position that they're in. He's got this there. We gotta redo the crew completely. We gotta redo the crew. And 2 up, 1 down. Add some more walkways here. Put these doors on the corner. We'll figure it out some more as we go along. I am still messing with it. I like this idea. Up, down, up, down. He's got this, he's got that. He's got the shield for this one. He's got whatever dedication for that. Fix this one this way for right now. Alright, now I'm going to make sure I have enough crew for everything that I just did, and then we're going to redo the dedication. So before I make these changes, let's pull back in 1.4. I haven't saved that one yet. Figure out what he has here. So he's got yellow, 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 yellow. Okay. They're just all yellow guys. Yellow, yellow, and then this is pointed to this one, and then those guys are probably just runners. They've got power to power, power to power. Power to power. But these things have no dedications. Why do these things have no dedications? That means these guys can grab power from here and run all the way over here and get power over here. I don't like that. So these should be dedicated to the point defenses, and then these should be dedicated to... I'm just going to change it the way I think I would want to change it. Okay, we're going to make that so these kids are still yellow. We can actually technically put... here, and then I would change it. I don't like this. I know that weakens that spot right there, but I prefer to actually put armor there. Let's put that closer. And then this has to be the armor back in there. We'll put it back in. Put in the fire extinguisher again, for whatever reason. Okay. It's gonna be the yellows. We're gonna rededicate these. Power. It's gonna come to this, come to this, come to that. And what is this dedicating? Just those? Fine. Okay, and then rededicate this one to these. Rededicate these to these. And then whatever reason, dedicate to those two. And then we have to rededicate these people. So these guys... He has one there. I kind of just want to put two-man crew over here. Alright, you guys are in charge of the shields. You guys recharge back and forth these ways. I need a two-man crew for both of those. Two-man crew. I know I'm not placing them very nicely. Oh, you guys can be yellow. He already has two over there. I don't know what I'm thinking. I don't like it. We'll go back to that way. Plus now. 6 people. Okay, rededicates back to that way. Alright, did that work? That didn't work that way, that worked this way. They're walking all funny. This is down. Up, 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 up. They are not going down the middle because I don't have a door. Save it. Repair it. Save it. 1.5. Alright. In. That guy walks down the middle. Power this way. They gotta up. And down. I gotta change these walkways. I want to unpause it. I just want to keep. You know, maybe I do want to pause it. This is an up. It's a down. That's the side. Down. Up. I don't know if I like that. Why are these up on this way? Well, shouldn't the up be on this side and the down should be on this side? This should be an up. This should be down. Down, down, down. And then this is a... I don't know, I feel like I'm messing it up, but that's okay. In, out, up, down, in. I don't like that. Up, up and around. Come back out this way. We're gonna save right over 1.5. Alright. In, out, in, out. It goes down, it goes in. It goes in and out. And up. Down and up. I like those larger shields. It gives them another target. And for whatever reason, they're not supplying point defenses. I'm going to check priorities on these yellow guys. Defense. Point defenses. The point defenses are set to a 10. What is the supply capacitors are also set to a 10, which is not what you want. Save it. 1.6. Honestly, I would have runners, specifically for runners, and then you would have people specifically for the point defenses. So I'm thinking of changing that. Like this yellow crew right here, these yellow guys, they shouldn't walk away because it goes down because the point defenses are not being supplied anymore. So you can have guys that are specifically running for the power capacitors, split that up, 2 different roles, and have these guys specifically for the point defenses. I know I changed this to 9, but you see how then nobody's running to give this power? Now these people, nobody's running to give it power. Yeah, it's gonna change. We need to separate the roles. Because then it's gonna run out of power, we don't have enough power to them. And it's going down because there's not enough point defenses doing what they're supposed to do. So, we are going to come over here, we're going to rip these guys off. We're going to change this over here, we're going to take a 2-man crew. 2-man crew there. This 2-man crew, we're going to change the door to this way inside. We're going to rededicate this to... Duplicate this row. Edit that roll. We're going to change this to a different color. You're going to be... I'll be bright orange. Okay, we're going to call you guys point defense, PDs. Okay. Now PDs, for point defenses, we're going to take away the supply capacitor. We don't want you walking away from it. We are going to make sure the point defenses are there for point defenses, and then we're going to dedicate just you, PDs. This PD is dedicated to this one, this PD is dedicated to this one. Once they're dedicated to that, we don't even care about these. Now this applies directly to the PD. The PD will select you to the point defenses. That will work that way. And then these guys back here, we can now apply them to there because they're battery operators. And then we can change this, and job priorities for these guys, we take the PDs, we'll lower their PD to 8, but we'll increase the power capacitor to 10. Now we can come over here, we can save this, 1.7. And in theory, what should happen here is we fix the rolls up a little bit. I haven't fixed all this yet. It was still a work in progress. But now the point defense is you have 2 guys on this side, 2 on this guy, and they're only just going to be getting point defenses like you see, and then these guys with these runners are going to just supply power to the power capacitors, and then your point defenses should never go down. See how it's working so much better? Yeah, I haven't seen them go down yet. And we got missiles and we got everything. We got lots of things coming at it right now. This thing's having some power things going to it, but it hasn't gone down. And that's what you want. You just made slight changes to here and there, and then this went down because I don't have anybody supplying power to them. Let's see what happens when I break it. I'm about to break it. Let's figure out how this goes. I don't even know if we have enough crew. We'll go up a version. I think that's going to change a lot of things. We'll go to set 1.8. I know I made changes. Now I had to re-dedicate to the rest of the ship because I didn't have anybody dedicated to those. We'll go to 1.8. We'll see if it still works. We may need to add more crew, or we may need to change something. So now that has supply to here. I don't really like this one. I would actually like this to go to a large reactor and then remove this. That's what I would like to do, but let's just see if this works still. Yeah, we're having crew issues now. Not enough crew. It's still working, but it's not. And the crew issues are going to be back here because I added. These guys are no longer supporting the front. And then this ship just goes in here and just. This is how much stuff has been coming at it, by the way. And I was trying to stop it all. Alright, so. Crew. I think we need our own crew people for back here. We're at 112. I think we need... Honestly, if they get back here, it's already done anyways. If they get this far, it's gonna be gone. Yellow team. Yellow. There you go. Take these guys. I'm gonna undo this. Take this team right here, and you guys can be. There we go. See how that works? That's supplying this, and this. That supplies to that. This supplies to that. Save ship. 1.9. See if that works better. I just pulled off the ship I didn't want to. 1.9, okay. In my ships. I know there's a way higher cost, but we're just testing its defense. I still want to go with the idea of adding two railguns on this side, 2 railguns on this side, so you have 6 railguns, so it becomes a rail fan. But like that would totally change the overall design. That's just a thought. I know we lost this part, but that's a good test to see if a barrage, an Alpha Strike comes in and wipes out some of it, does one side still stand a chance? It's still holding. Somewhat, but not really. And then it just loses one whole side. And now will one side be able to take? And it already wiped this one out, mostly, except for the missiles. Having power issues. And then the missiles alone are gonna get unless it destroys that part. but it holds up pretty well. This part's still a problem too. Remember how I was talking about the sulfur too? Whatever. I don't know why sulfur is not constantly being supplied. Well, I do, but it's also dedications and then people walking away from their stations. So this is where you need to add those permanent dedications to it. I know Ghost knows how to do it. This is just for people that are watching or never seen this before. You're trying to figure out how do you fix your ship? How do you test it? Wait, did I go back a whole bunch of versions and I didn't fix this in full? Huh. I guess I gotta refix it. Those changes that I made are not there. Alright. Refix this part. Oh, it's gonna toss that out. It's gonna toss that out. We're gonna move this up. We're going to toss this out. Rededicate everything. Everything had so that I believe the engine room was supposed to be a 10. The supply sulfur was a 7, so that's still there. Why don't we change that to an 8? Resave this ship now. May number 3. 2.0. And we have nobody for the cockpit. Beautiful. Because he has assigned to everything. This is why the ship's not working. I changed the priorities and it doesn't have people in the cockpit. Huh. We don't have enough people. You should have, that's where we have operators and we have non. That's funny. These guys are walking back and forth. That guy's walking this way and that way. There's only 2. We need to have a third one dedicated for. They're having crew issues here. And what are these guys? These are gunners? We have all 3 in there. Then you literally only have 2 guys running around. 2 guys running around supplying power and sulfur. I'm watching what these 2 little pink guys are doing. Supplying to the engine room. You don't need to supply energy to the engine room. I need you to do other things, Mr. Everything's. So everything's... We're gonna come over here and we're gonna say, I don't want you to supply power to the engine room. We'll give you a 4. Do you have any pink guys up there? There's no pink guys up there, so you have the other guys down there. We want those 2 individual guys. For whatever reason. Resave this ship. 2.1. 2.1. 2.1. Start this battle. Alright, 2 individual guys. They're not going to go run around. They're going to supply ammo, or they're going to supply sulfur, or they're going to supply energy to the command deck. Got rid of those priorities. Changed up the front head. And we're having power issues to the boosters. Reverse thrust. There's definitely crew limitations. You're gonna need a little bit more crew in order for this to work on the back and in the front, based on what we have there. So the crew needs to go up on this one. Crew definitely needs to go up on this one. But when Ghost spends the time, or I don't even know if you're here, Ghost, or not, you're gonna need to work on a bunch of things in this ship, as you can see. Some good examples, and let's just go ahead and see if we can find any of the previous ships. I can't remember where it was. Anyway, it's not in April. We're gonna go back to March. I think we even need to go further than that. I think we need to go to old. What am I looking for? Maybe it's in wholesome stuff. Community challenge. Work in progress. Where did I put it? Shipyard. Wholesome. Where do we put the butterfly? Okay, we put one in there. Done challenge. New one. There has been a lot of different ships that have been showcased on this channel. I can't remember where it is. I'm looking for that butterfly railgun. But here's some other railguns too. That rail fans that work better. So if you're going for those long railguns, they're cool and all. And then we even have unexcited ones as well. Where we have. Hello Jaffix and welcome. Here's one that's 1.7. Now the cost-wise, they're way different, right? We're looking at 500,000 more. But this is what I would think of, and this is one of Hostup's. I know this is not the latest design, but you see how much back thrust this thing has, forward thrust, and all the different changing of it to make it move around. I see it has a door here and a door here. I don't know what this door here is for. This door here is for the hatch. Okay, that makes sense. But this right here, this has 4 railguns instead of just 2 big ones. This one has 2 big ones and this one has 4. The more railguns you have, the more you can rail fan, and you can do more with it. Now he layer stacked these point defenses here for Hostup's ship compared to this. Now I know there's a 500,000 cost difference, so yes, it's very different. And then he has all this. If it can withstand all these barrages. You see how 4 railguns can get past even these point defenses? If you have a constant base of fire, 4 railguns are going to outpace 2 railguns. This is what I'm saying, is if you add more railguns, you won't need so many point defenses because you can hammer through them just like this one. This one has less point defenses, has more railguns, has more speed, and you're able to actually use it as a rail fun, just like how Hostup's is, and it works better either from running away or staying in combat, and doesn't have too many point defenses, but he has just enough to stop those stray shots from 2, and you can see how 4 railguns can beat 2 with less point defenses. And so if you have more railguns that you put in, and these railguns are not as big, not as long, they're not even close to as long as, maybe they are as close. Long railguns are cool and all, do more damage, but if you have point defenses, flat cannons, or other things that can stop it, 2 railguns are never going to get past this. Or 4 railguns can eventually break through with this defense. Even if we were to add more people, we're throwing more crew, which increases the cost, which makes it harder, right? And then we have to move things around, which makes it even harder too. So this is why somebody at the beginning probably said, you know, it's not a ship design that they would use. It has some things that need to change. That's what I was thinking, is add in more railguns. They can be shorter, but you can increase your damage output with more railguns, like this. The cost of this one is expensive. There's probably things that Hosep could change to make it better, and he probably has. Like, this is a very old ship, and I don't know where his newer ships are whenever he posts them. But you can see how this one, and then he has another one too that's a smaller design, that's a butterfly looking one. I like that one a lot. I wish I had saved it someplace where I could showcase it a little bit more. Where I think that butterfly one, which costs a lot less, would also stand a chance in here. Let me try to see if I can find it. I'm gonna try to look for it. Now, if you did want to do a 2 railgun one, and I know this is a much older version, this is going to be this is Unexcited Ship. I know you may not like it. This is such an old design. This is probably not going to stand a chance against that. He has updated this one. This is way too old. We won't showcase that against that. Let's look for... Oh, here it is. Maybe there's this one. This one still might not stand a chance, but this is... I like the short railguns with the movement on it. In fact, I don't think this one's going to stand a chance against it. But you see, if you have these small little tiny railguns, and this is a very cheaper one, but you expand this out and had more railguns on this cheap little butterfly looking one, plus it's painted too, you can have this tiny little railgun that can fly around and do more. So if you had more railguns on this thing, 4 or 6, and you flew it around like a little butterfly, I think this is much cooler. And you see how it's still holding up defense-wise against just 2 railguns for a short time. I think that the 2-1 might actually break through, maybe. But this is a cool early game railgun versus this. Early game, 2 railguns will work. Late game, once you get to the million above, I think personally you're gonna need more than just 2 railguns. You'll need 4, you'll need 6 or more to really penetrate and do more against those bigger ships. I mean, this probably still works against in-game ships, but if you're fighting against people, I personally would want to put more railguns. And this is where I was thinking, rip off these boosters or something, but then obviously you lose the reverse thrust. And then putting in 2 small railguns on this side and 2 small railguns on this side, and then you have 6 railguns. That would definitely be like these small little railguns, and just put them over here. 2 on this side, 2 on this side. That's my thought process of what I would think to change on this one, but I could be wrong. I'm no railgun expert. I know I didn't have audio at the very beginning, but I was trying to emphasize that I'm doing something a little different and giving people ideas. That's the whole purpose of these Pimp My Ships, is give you an idea of what you could do with the ship. I could be completely wrong. I'm no railgun expert, because that's not the type of ships that I play with very often. I play with cannons, I play with lasers, I play with a lot of cannons, play with a lot of lasers, and I play with being up close and in your face type of ships. So the type of ships that I work on a lot, and this is where I would literally take small itty-bitty ships like this. I've never even tested this against this. If you had small itty-bitty ships, and this is where I think these ships are not actually get fast enough, and so I would actually put in one of these, 2 of these actually, and you do it like this. This is where this other ship would have problems. See the little flankers? Once these little flankers can get behind or on the side of it, this ship loses capability. And this is where if you get any ships that get behind it, you're gonna have a problem. But it has good reverse thrust backwards. So this is a good example of if you get flanked, did it just stop? It stopped because it lost its 1 command deck right here. So once you lose 1 command deck where it's in the back right here, the whole ship just stops. And so where these little tiny laser flankers has no projectiles on it at all, and this is where you have problems with filling in so that you actually have some type of defense around it. So even if I were to rip off another one of these ships, right, make the ship cost even less, have the exact same crew cost now, once these ships, which can tank just a few of those shots, yes, you probably could have enough to blow through it eventually, but once one of these ships come behind it, and then you get flanked from behind, this is a bad place to have your command deck. See, now that one command deck's gone, the whole ship just stops. So the command deck needs to be protected more. There needs to be something on the sides and whatnot. So I would also move the command deck to some place that's a little bit more protected for this ship, so that you can see right here, it doesn't blast against a swarming of just pure energy ships, because this is not enough armor for the command. You get one sly shot from the back, just like how these ships come in, and you take out one of these and the whole ship just falls apart. So definitely things that need to be worked on, definitely things that you can hit on and touch and play with. I'll give this back to Ghost. I know I didn't really change it too much. Again, I'm not a railgun expert. There's a lot of other people that are way better at railguns. This is just giving you ideas of what you can change and what you can fix, and just some suggestions. Add more railguns to this for its cost, because once you get in $1 million and above, 2 railguns, in my personal opinion, doesn't cut it. You can still destroy this one, as you can see. You can still outrun the 3 ships. These ships are slow in comparison. But once you get into the flanking position, because even if 2 of them, if this one ever catches up, now they're flying in the same way, you would have problems. But the other problem too is if you're flying in the end game, if this ship, as you're flying backwards, you run into asteroids or something that's behind you, you also can get into trouble. But that's just my own personal opinion. That's where I'll go from there. If you enjoyed this content, please feel free to hit the like button. Helps me out a ton. Helps to push out this content to other people, bring awareness to it. If you like, please feel free to leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, especially what you don't like, so that I can improve and make better content. If you have not already, please feel free to subscribe. If you don't want to subscribe, that's okay as well. Come back once a week, once a month. Check out what content I have. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for watching. And you all have a wonderful rest of your day.